守候在小雨直播间啊，接着为大家带来我们的蟑螂模拟器变形记。
The first set, what are they?
The defense doesn't have access to court records, especially not to the indictment. That means we generally don't know, or at least not precisely, what the first documents need to be about. Anyway, usually the first submitted documents are mislaid or lost, and even if they do keep them right to the end,
这个是一个游戏的名字啊，叫变形记，你百度能搜到的。我操！
But not entirely without its justification.
说把这灯关了呀。
You should not forget, Mr. K,
这有咖啡
that there is no law that says the trial has to be public. Proceedings are generally kept secret, not only from the public, but also from
这里肯定要用这个粘液啊来爬。
Is that even possible?
What?
To keep the trial secret from the accused?
Oh, it's usually possible to a very large extent.
This sounds completely absurd.
愚蠢的人
So
类。
what exactly is your role?
The most important thing is the lawyer's personal connections. That's where the real value of taking counsel lies. Contacts with higher officials. Or with high officials, but with lower grades. That is the only way.
到哪了？我现在有点懵了，我操！啊，证件就在这里。我是谁？我在哪？这是什么地方？ 飞过去吗？我知道，在桌子里面，看没看见？哦，这桌子里面还有个世界，看见没看见？不准进入！抱歉，我想看看桌子哪里出问题了。桌子坏了，闲人免进。找他老板汇报啊，大哥。 蟑螂安全员，反正我不知道，我现在玩的一脸懵逼啊，都没玩明白是什么意思。哦，哦，有点意思啊。通电是吧？来，我跟大哥聊一聊。 大哥，谁死在这里了？看一下任务啊，证件肯定就在这里面。找证件来了，哎。 咱们多转一会儿啊，让它电流多点。好，爬过去快。 不是那个，这怎么办呢？粘不上这里。啊，尿了一泼尿给粘上了。啊，明白了。看来我这粘液还有点用啊。来，通电。这不是双人同行，有点那个意思。阿拉伯飞毯吗？不对，阿拉伯飞子。过关了，这是啥呀？
It's opening. What do we have here? Oh, a certificate. Related to a trial. We'll leave it later.
Can I see it?
No,
其实我是在帮助这个我们这个约瑟夫啊。
It's working.
Don't get so excited, Mr. K, please.
你懂了吗？能看明白吗？
Now,
准备上去吧。
let me see. Yes, just what I thought. As I mentioned before, the first set of documents needs to be prepared.
差点被拍死。
It will take some time.
你们看到虫子会不会把他打死？
What about me?
我想你们肯定会打死。
That's what many of the accused
所以说这就
choose to do
说
in
明了
this
什么？
situation. As your trial is
说
still
明了
in its infancy,
如果高等文明，
hastened
对不对？
action
找到了
will
我们
bring
人类，
more harm than good.
我们就是虫
You'll
子，
have to excuse me.
在他们眼里
I
就是虫
cannot
子。
just sit and wait.
Patience is a virtue, Mr. K.
见一只
A
杀一只。
virtue much appreciated
问题是，就杀虫子这个事儿，
system.
我也杀过虫子，就是
I suggest
都不是
you
说
go
都
back
不用大脑
to
去
your
想，就
everyday
就
tasks at the
拿个纸
lab.
咔一完扔厕所里就完事儿。
That is where you work, no?
How
对
can
不对？
one just continue a normal
所以
everyday
有些
life
时候
knowing
真的
that
就
he's
是
accused, that he is under
自己
suspicion?
都不知道为什么要杀死一只虫
Be
子，
surprised
啊，看见它就想杀它。
how easy it is to get used to such a situation. After a certain moment, you
拖
won't
鞋
even
伺候。
notice the ongoing trial.
Great. But at least
所以
you
有
can
时候
tell
我们
me
也
when
在
my
想，
hearing
如果
is
真
right.
的有高等文明或者比人类
Isn't
更
it
牛逼的
written
文
in your
明，
ledger?
It is.
看见人类以后
But
啊，哈哈
as，your counsel,
虫子
I can't read.
什么杀死你与我何干？
I would like to discuss my defense,
是这句话啊
but？I don't even know the charges.
该怎么走啊？这
That
个
is not important.
上不去啊。
What is important is to submit the first set of documents to the court.
The first set. What are they?
The defense doesn't have access to court records, especially not to the indictment.
眼这面包都长蘑菇了，看着没有？
Generally,
红
don't
闪闪
have,
白
or at
干
least
干，
not precisely, what the first documents
吃完糖
need
斑
to
斑。
be about. Anyway, usually the first submitted documents are
老三
missing
体了
or lost, and even if they do keep them right,
旋转这个
at the
半
end,
径，
rumor says they are
我
hardly
搬不
ever
动啊，这玩意儿啊。
This is all very regrettable, but not entirely without its justifications. You should not forget, Mr. K, that there is no law that says
哎妈，
the
粘
trial
上来了，看着
has
没？
to be public.
不容易，不容易啊！
Proceedings are generally kept secret, not only from the public, but also from the accused.
Is that even possible?
What?
To keep the trial secret from the accused?
Oh, it's usually possible to a very
这俩人聊啥呢？我都一句也没听
This
懂。
sounds completely absurd. So
这
what
也不给
exactly
个翻
is
译
your
啥？
role?
哎呀，钢笔
The most important thing is the lawyer's personal connections. That's where the real value of taking counsel lies. Contacts with higher officials. Or with
为什么不设计个妹子？
but with lower
啊？
rates. That is the
我要
only
钻到他
way
的
to influence the progress of the trial. Hardly noticeable at first, it's true. But as it progresses, it becomes more and more visible. There are, of course, not many lawyers who can do
这
this.
不是正解。
So you have made a good choice by coming to me.
Do you already have some paperwork?
The law is tireless, and so are we, the defense. It should come to
见过
no
律师
surprise to
把一
you
份
that
放
we
在什么
have
地
an
方呢？
extensive network for relevant information. Your case is a very interesting one. Indeed, things like this don't come all of a sudden. They start developing a long time beforehand. There must have been warning signs of it.
Could I see those documents?
Your trial is still in its infancy.
这个好玩啊
You'd！get the wrong impression after reading them. They are destined for me, not for you. Trials run their course all
这游戏
by
你得看攻略，
themselves. All they really
不看攻略的话，
need
就
is
像我
nudge
玩这种
from time
有
to
点
time.
懵。
After reading the
一脸懵
papers,
逼，
you
都不知道
could
怎么
get
玩
the。wrong idea and start acting erratically. This would for sure complicate the case.
This obviously is a very stupid system. How can one defend himself if he doesn't know what he stands accused of?
It's
前面
far from being the lawyer's job to introduce any improvements in the court system or even to think about it. One significant point is that almost every defendant, even
上
a
面需要盖
very
章
simple one,
证件在桌子上。
begins to suggest
我怎么
improvements to the court as soon as its proceedings have begun. Many of them spend time on the matter, time that could be spent far better elsewhere.
怎么
The
盖章？
only right thing to do is to learn how to deal with the situation as it is. Any other approach is simply superstitious nonsense and might do incalculable harm. Not to mention attract the special attention of the officials. Never attract attention to yourself.
Mr. Hold, I would like to
不
discuss
是
my
箭头
defense
指
with
的
you,
是这个
but I
灯，
don't even know the
懂了吧？
charges.
然后这边也指了一个文件，但现在这文件需要盖章啊，这个盖这个章，我得让这个章盖到这个文件
The
上才
first
行。
set. What are they?
The defense doesn't have access to court records, especially not to the
想办法。
indictment. That means we generally don't know,
粘不住吧？
or at least not
怎么
precisely,
粘住文件啊？
what the first documents need to be about.
我跳上去
Anyway,。Usually the first submitted documents are mislaid or lost, and even if they do keep them right to the end, rumor says they are hardly ever read. This is all very... these stamps.
好，盖完了吧？
the certificate. Did I stamp it already? Anyway,
这
it's official now. I'll put it with your documents. I don't quite remember why it was needed.
Documents? What documents? Mr. Hold, I'm withdrawing your representation in
还得
my
去找文件
case
去。
with immediate effect.
Do I understand you right?
I think you do.
Well, we can certainly discuss this plan of yours.
It's not a plan anymore.
We still...
Oh yes， Oh my god!
Mustn't rush anything.
Nothing is being rushed. Everything has been thought through, probably for too long. The decision is final.
Then allow me to say a few words. You are running the risk of catching a cold
大
for
哥
no
那么高
reason.
摔下去肯定摔死。
The circumstances are important enough, and you've become impatient.
I am not impatient. It is just that I came to you, hoping that this case would become less of a burden for me. Well, quite the opposite is happening. If you would represent,
这他妈的
I
在
would
这
end up worrying about the case much more.
玩迷宫的
Always, without ceasing, be waiting for you to do something. It will grow more and more tense. As for the information about the trial
贼会玩
itself,
啊，贼会玩
you won't even
兄
tell
弟
me
们，亲密
when
度
it
还差
occurred.
不点了，就
And
加
I
人
am
气了，
left
兄弟们，
guessing
给宇哥
that
再
it's
加点
getting
好不好？
closer and
我再抽一
closer.
波奖，
After a certain
快了，
point
快了，快了。
in the proceedings,
再来波66啊。
nothing new of any importance ever happens. So many litigants at the same stage in their trials have stood before me just like you are
得
now,
上去啊！
and spoken in the same way.
Then all these other litigants have been right, just as I am.
I wasn't trying to show that you were mistaken, but I expected better judgment from you than from the others. I've given you more insight into the workings of the court and my own activities than I normally do. But despite that, you
粘上
have
去是
too
吧？
little trust in me. You're not making it easy for me. You see, I have the impression that you have not only misjudged the legal assistance I have given you, but also that you believe that you are being handled with apparent neglect.
看一下该怎么走啊！
Even that has its reason. It is often better
加油！
to be changed than to be free.
Mr. Hull, what will you undertake on my behalf if you continue to represent me?
I should continue with what I've already been doing for you.
And that's just what I thought. You don't need to say another word. 溜不溜？耶！老玩家了已经。嗯，这里啊。哇，这是哪啊？广告，广告。好嘞，好嘞，好嘞，好嘞，好嘞。不好意思啊，有时候玩游戏注意力必须得集中，不然的话还有12分钟才有广告。谢谢大家亲密度啊！感谢冷月，谢谢欧布，感谢葫芦水娃，过关了，又过关了。那咱存个档呗。我操，晚上咱们再玩，快通关了，我估计。这里是文化场所，请保持安静。我找我的文件。我操！哈利波特。存档。哎，歇会儿，歇会儿，歇会儿，累了，玩3个小时了，我操，快！啊，咱们填个坑啊，来，我们来录一集啊。